Alright, so now we're into our third part of this because of the issues we had when we discovered that this systems.collections.generic were not in the scripts when we originally created them, and that's something, either one of three things. It's either something on Visual Studio's part, it's either something on Unity's part when you create the script, because it happens with the blank C# scripts as well, or it was user error when I was updating Visual Studio. But either way, we have it now. We got our player controller working with the invincibility. Now the next thing is to add the knockback. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, we're gonna do our usual thing and add in some headers, right? Or a header, not some headers. And this is gonna be knockback settings. Make this equal to 10 for now, the knockback force. Not direction, duration. And we're gonna make that equal to 0.2f. And then we're gonna add a bool. There we go. Alright, so these are our knockback settings right here. We got a float, knockback force, we have it equal to 10 frames for now. Public float, knockback duration, we have it set to 0.2. And then we have a private boolean that we created is knockback, and we have it defaulted separately to defaulted to false. There we go. Alright. Now the first thing we're going to do is modify our take damage. So in our take damage function, what we're going to do is here we're just going to be simply start core routine knockback. Now we don't have this created, so it's going to throw up errors, and that's fine. And we're gonna pass the hit position once that's done. Not knockback. Knockback. And we're gonna leave that alone like that. Alright. Then we're gonna create our core routine. And so let's go ahead and create it here. Private, i.e. new knockback, also passing a vector 3, and we're going to call it hit position as well. And inside of here is, whoops, try this again, is knockback is going to be set to equal true. We're going to say vector 2 knockback direction. Oops. Knockback direction. There we go. It's going to be equal to the transform.position.x. There we go. All right. So this is a shorthand form of saying if else. So we're saying vector2 dot knockback direction is equal to if the transform dot position of x is less than the hit position dot x, we're gonna throw in these else ifs. So if it's less than, it's gonna be pushed to the right. If it or greater than, it's going to be pushed to the right. Otherwise, it's going to go left. Basically, what it's doing is a long version of this, or a short version of this. If let's see here. What it's saying is it's a long version of this. You don't have to type this part. This is more just showing you what it's actually doing. Alright, so this one line is the same as these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines, right? So we basically just, it's a way of making code more efficient and working better, and that's what we need to be. We need to be efficient when we're writing code. And then we're gonna linear velocity is equal to new. This is going to be equal to the new vector, to a new vector 2, which is going to pass back the knockback direction dot x. We're going to multiply that by the knockback force, and we're going to pass through rb dot linear velocity dot y. And then, because this is a coroutine, we need to pass in our wait for seconds. Well, I guess not because, but we should, because we need to apply the duration of the knockback so that it knows how long to last. And then we're going to reset the code to, or not reset the Boolean back to false, right? But if we leave it like this, what's going to happen is, because of how we call the player movement, this update will override our knockback. So we need to adjust this part here. And what we're going to do here is just, it's very simple, right here above it, right? So if we come here, we need to type in if is not knocked back, add in a curly bracket, press enter, and then we're just going to take these two lines, cut and paste, just like that. Just like that. Alright. So this is going to make sure that it's not immediately overridden, is the way it should work. Save your code, and let's go back, let it do its thing, and let's press play and hope this works. Hey, and we got a little bit of a knockback. It doesn't really work when we jump. That might be something we can add in later on, but it pushes back from the left, pushes back from the right. And if you don't like the settings, we can go ahead and go into our player, and let's close this up because we don't need any of this nonsense right now. Let's set it to 10, and let's just look at that. There you go. That looks better. So, alright. Now that that's working, let's go get our death on, right? Alright. Not our death animation. Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with. Death animations. Alright. How do we want to do this? First thing I want to do is drag this up here next to hierarchy, and make sure animation tab is open. If it's not, go to window, animation, then click on animation. We're going to click on this right here, this drop down where it says idle, create new clip. Make sure you are in your animations and player folder, And then what we're gonna do is type in death, because that's what this is gonna be called, death. All right. And now that we have that created, in the squirrel folder here, we have these animations for hurt, right? And so that's what we're going to use in this instance. Okay, so go ahead and click on them. Right, make sure your pixels per unit are changed from 100 to 16. Press apply, that way everything's the same size. And just like before, we're going to drag the first one on 0, put the second one, we'll put it on 10 for now, and we'll put the third one on 20. Not third one, the first one again on 20. Let's just test it out. Let's see what it looks like when we slide them down. Yeah, that's way too fast. So let's go ahead and put it back. There we go. 20-second animation, or 20 frame animation, sorry, is good enough for that. Make sure you press Control S to save. Now in our animator, which you can open up here, it should be up here in your tabs. If not, go to Window, Animations, Animator, and you'll see it right there. We need to add this as an any state. So what we're gonna do is find our death animation and just drag that in here. Oh, it's already in. There it is right there. Right, that's convenient. Let's create a transition. So right click on any state, make a transition. And here, make sure that has exit time is unchecked. And then we need to create a Boolean. So what we're gonna do is click over here in parameters, bool, and we're gonna name this to is dead. Right. And in this transition, we're gonna change the condition, add a plus sign, make sure is dead is set to true for that. And now we can trigger the animation from our script. So what we're going to do after pressing Control S and saving is modifying our player controller script. So in this, what we need to do is in our take damage script, we're going to change a few things. So we have this what we're going to do is here, rather than having take damage, we're going to, how do we want to do this? Here's what we're going to do. All right. Actually, no, we're going to leave that. We're going to leave that. What we're going to do is create our death function first. So underneath the invisibility, i.e. numerator, we're gonna say void die, right? And then we're gonna do a few things. rb dot linear velocity dot is gonna be equal to vector 2.0. Oops. Let's close those doors there. And set bool is is dead true. Oh, it's gonna be true. This needs to be like this. There we go. And then get component dot collider 2D dot enabled is going to be equal to false. That'll allow it to fall through the ground and give it that little like Mario effect kind of deal. And then let's go ahead and we haven't created it, but we're going to start core routine, restart level, because we're going to move the restart, the level restarts here into this area, into this script. So up here, in order to prep for that, let's go to here and we're at using Unity engine.scene management. Right. And creating our core routine, let's go to our health manager and we're just going to take this, copy this, and create an IE enumerator. So private I draw a blank there, and I knew I was creating an IE enumerator, which is really weird. All right, drew a blank. Here we're back on track. Restart level, and then we're gonna say yield return new, not in, wait 4 seconds, and then this 2 seconds here is just going to be ensuring that we have enough time for the animation to play. We can adjust it as needed. So, all right. So in our health manager script, what we're going to do is, instead of having this right here, we're just going to say what we're going to do is delete this, and we're going to add player control player. I'm going to find object by type player control, and then if the player is not, if player is not equal to null, so just like we did with the spike, right? Then we're gonna call the player dot except it's protected. So let's go here and public. That gets rid of that error. All right. Let's see what happens. Press play. Play. All right. Knockback still works. Still taking health and dead. There we go. Bam. All right. Now it was doing that little spin thing. I think like when it dies, let's see. There's a couple ways we can try this. One way is to disable the player script, but I feel like that's gonna mess up the health manager. So, but we're at 19 minutes. We can give it a shot and see what happens and go from there. Where is it? There it is, right here. I don't know why I couldn't find it. Might be time to get some glasses. Enabled equals false. And we're gonna see what happens with that. Alright, so this is the quick way, but I feel like it's gonna mess up this, and if it does, then we'll just add to our animations, and that'll be work just the same. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, that worked. Okay, cool. And it still works. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, and he just falls off through playing the death animation, and then it restarts and we're back to square one. So there you guys go, folks. It took 3 videos. I do apologize. I only wanted to take 2, but we finally got it going. In this 3rd video, we created the knockback animation, as you can see here. Boom. It pushes back, and then it dies, plays the animation, and restarts. Okay, 2 seconds actually is pretty good, even though that's only a 20 frame animation, but because it loops and falls down, then we're good. We got the rest of the health system working, and not sure what we're gonna do yet for the next video. There's still a few things. We got to create enemies, we got to create some checkpoints, there's a whole bunch of stuff, but either way, I will see you in the next video. Let's make something great together.